For those that don't remember, this is Diana telling a referee, I'll see you in the lobby.
You know what the
What
funny thing
happened
about,
here?
Well, you know what the funny thing about that is? I literally saw him in the lobby before the game.
Welcome back, everybody. We have a brand new episode of A Touch More. We have a very special live show and a very special guest. We are featuring Diana Taurasi this week. But first, congratulations are in order for the UConn Huskies. Sue, how we feeling?
Feeling pretty good.
Feeling pretty good? Okay.
We've had we've had to deal with a lot. We talk about it during the live show. We had to deal with a lot for the last 9 years. So it's nice to be back on top. Number 12 for Coach Auriemma and Chris Daly, which now officially puts them as the most in college basketball history, men's or women's. UCLA and John Wooden had 10, but UCLA as a total program had 11. So now that tie's broken. They've got 12, which is properly insane. I did enjoy the ending of the game. Now everybody can see what it looks like when Coach Auriemma cries. I think both when he embraced Paige, but also when he was being interviewed by Holly Rowe. Holly did an amazing job. The coverage was so good.
Holly had him choked up. Holly had him choked up.
Holly knows how to pull on the strings. Holly knows how to get it out of you.
Does.
I even got emotional watching that embrace between Paige and Coach Auriemma. I think in large part because I know what it's like to deal with injuries in your college career, have time taken away, but then finish on top. So that hug is almost the exact same hug that I got to give Coach Auriemma, albeit 1,000 years ago. So I almost cried on TV. I don't think I've ever cried, even for my own accomplishments. So that was really,
you know who had me in full tears? Carolyn Descharme.
Oh yeah.
Her coming off the bench.
Yeah, it was
She's
sweet.
had a ton of concussion issues and she hasn't been able to play. She put her head thing on and she at least got to come out and be on the floor for the championship game. That one had an actual tear.
Yeah, it really was.
I couldn't handle it. You know how I feel about these sports stories. When like a good sports story happens, I'm just like full tears.
Yeah, the whole scene was both emotional, touching, sweet. I think for Paige, it gives her the storybook ending that everyone wondered if she was going to get. And I can only imagine, for her, what that must feel like. Just having to listen to all the noise. Same goes for AZ Fudd. Most outstanding player. She had an incredible tournament. She's really been playing that well since they played South Carolina in that game back in February. So I'm really excited for her too. It's another story just riddled with injury and constantly having to set yourself up for a comeback. And the mental toll that takes is it's tough. It's tough. So to see her playing like this, I'm excited. I'm actually happy that she's coming back. She'll get to double down on that. So that'll be cool to see her next year. And then, do you want, let me just I'll set one little thing up for Sarah Strong, because I know you want to talk about Sister Feaster really bad. She finished with 25 points, 15 rebounds. She had a double-double before halftime and 5 assists. This is the first player, not freshman, the first player ever to have 20, plus 20, plus 15, plus 5 in the national championship game ever. And she's only a freshman, Megan. How proud of you are you of your girl?
I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, Dee said it on your show. She's baby Jokic. Not just like the stats and the numbers she puts up, but she just like facilitates the game. I said this on our pod a week or whatever ago. I think she like unlocked the rest of the team. She unlocked Paige, which unlocks AZ, which like unlocks everything. She's so good for being so young. And then she just kind of like goes about it and is like, whatever, this is fun. I'm here, no pressure. They like needed that lightness, I think. I actually saw Allison in the hotel before the game, and poor mama was just racked with nerves. And I was like, I don't think you need to be, Allison. I was like, little baby Feaster is just like chilling, and she's just going to go out there and do what she does, which she absolutely did. Yeah, she had a double-double like 5 minutes into the game. It was ridiculous. So happy for her. She's obviously going to have a very bright career. And this sets her up to make a run at some of the UConn greats. Winning as a freshman is like the only way that you can make a run at Stewie, really, who's who went 4 for 4. So at least she's setting herself up to do that. But yeah, so happy for all of them. And I can't say I was expecting the beat down that it ended up being, but it kind of just felt like, especially in the beginning of the second half, I was like, okay, this thing is gonna stretch it out a little bit. They can just put up points and score points from all over the floor. So that was gonna be tough for South Carolina.
Yeah, it was a very gratifying game. I'm not gonna lie. For all the reasons, for the last 9 years. To do it, on that stage, to have them. I mean, they've really been clicking the last couple weeks, but it's always nice when your final game is probably one of your best. So I know they got to celebrate, and it really does bring up the question. Diana and I talked about it on the BTS show. Will Geno Auriemma retire? I mean, the one thing I have to say about this is he could go either way. Likelihood is he stays. Should he retire is maybe the question. I don't really have an answer for that. I do have some thoughts, but I don't have an answer. I think what's so interesting to me is every time he talks about, really in the last like 10 years, he's been saying this. He constantly says, this isn't for me, right? Whether I finish my career with 11 national championships or 12, these championships aren't for me anymore. These are for the kids. These are for the kids. And I would just argue that it is for him too. It is for him too. So I hope that he is taking that in and not just constantly, deferring to the enjoyment of the kids. I think it speaks to, of course, greatness, but the thing that has always separated Coach Auriemma and CD apart, in my opinion, is, I don't know, man, this level of accountability and the fact that they just don't get bored. And if you go to practice now, listen, have they evolved and changed through the years? Yes. The way they were, I remember Rebecca Lobo, Kara Walters, Jen Rosati telling us how easy we had it with him. And that was only 4, 5, 6 years later. And now if I go to practice, he's a different coach. They're different coaches. But the one thing that remains is they do not get bored and they do not allow any slippage. The level of accountability that they keep themselves and keep that program. I've said it recently. You watch him during any game, whether it's the national championship game or a preseason game. If they miss a layup, he's literally having a proper tantrum about it. So yeah. And we've talked about that before. It's like that is who they are. And that is what has separated them. And that is what is being celebrated. And of course, he's played such a role, especially in this 12th one. So congratulations to the UConn Huskies, of course, to the coaching staff, to the players. And the alumni showed out too. Dee and I were super sad. We got stuck in our perch. We couldn't get down to the floor. We couldn't get down to the floor. So we missed the big alumni picture, but that just says so much about the program, how many people come back and stay connected. We did get to go in the locker room. So that was pretty dope. So I have that. I also want to give 2 quick shouts, which is, I mentioned the coverage before. I thought Ryan Ruocco, a good friend of ours, had an amazing last moment call. And I know he takes this part of his job, all parts of his job, but this part so seriously. And he was able to say, the final page in the book of Beckers is UConn's, or is Title 12 for UConn. And I thought that was just so perfect. So shout to Ryan. And then Megan, last night we watched the men's final, albeit half asleep, couldn't stay awake. We were exhausted. Yeah. We did watch Florida capture their 3rd title in program history. And then when the game ended, you were like, can we turn it off? And what did I say?
We got to watch one shining moment.
We got to watch one shining moment. We got to watch one shining moment. So I literally
pinned your eyes open.
Thank you. Yeah. I literally pinned my eyes open to watch one shining moment. And then when I woke up this morning, I went on my social media. I saw that Together had reposted something, an Instagram user. It's Trilly Donovan, who made the woman's version, because we don't have a one shining moment. So I want to say, everybody go check out the Together page and check this little clip out. It was pretty amazing. But yeah, those are my overall thoughts and reactions to UConn winning. I'm just super happy.
I love it. Before we get to the live part, just want to say congrats to South Carolina and Dawn Staley. Again, I love Dawn's outfit. I thought it was awesome. I know she didn't win, but, making it to the Final Four yet again in the championship game, yet again, I have a feeling that these two teams might just be back here again next year, definitely in the Final Four. Congrats to Texas and UCLA for making it to the Final Four as well. Overall, it was great. Tampa treated us really well. Thanks for the hospitality. We had a great trip. Here's a touch more live from the Final Four in Tampa, everybody. Enjoy the show.
Support for A Touch More comes from Degree. Let's be real. If you're on the go all day, some not so great smells might start to gather in all your nooks and crannies. That's just how bodies work. Well, Degree Whole Body Deodorant Spray can keep you feeling fresh wherever you sweat, with all-day odor protection for your pits, chest, thighs, and more. There's no aluminum and no residue after spraying. Just a light, refreshing smell to motivate you throughout the day. Buy the new Degree Whole Body Deo for under $10 at Walmart now. Oh, well, welcome to the show. We're so excited to be here. Thank you for joining us. This is A Touch More Live, presented by Degree. We are joining you from the gathering at Armature Works in Tampa, Florida. And obviously, we're here for one reason and one reason only, and that's not Diana Taurasi. It's actually the Final Four. It's the Final Four.
Have you heard of her?
We have a very exciting national championship game coming up later today. We also have a packed show for you. You've already got your cocktails, I see, which I love. We're going to have some games, and then, yes, a very special guest.
We needed that Degree sponsorship. It's hot as shit here. What's happening?
It's called Florida.
Florida. We are also here today because we are celebrating none other than ours truly, Sue Bird, on being inducted into not only, I wasn't done. Not only the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, but the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Now you can. I just want to say, I've only been in your career for the last, 6 years. And then you've been out too. And I just want to say how proud of you I am. I know this means a lot to you, and you've been an unbelievable ambassador to the game. No one deserves it more. So I just want to say congratulations. I'm so proud of you. I love you.
Thank you.
Soak it all in.
Thank you.
You're the best. You're also in my Hall of Fame.
You're not going to sing this time to me? You know, she sang during my Jersey retirement.
You're simply the best.
No? No serenade this time?
Better than all the
Hall of Fame's not good enough for her.
Better than anyone. Okay. That's enough. You have to pay more for that. So, congratulations, Sue.
Thank you.
We love you, and I know everyone here loves you, too. Okay, let's not wait any longer. Let's get right to it. I'm Megan Rapinoe.
And I'm Sue Bird. This is A Touch More. Let's get into it.
Okay. She's going to hate this.
Hate it.
She's going to hate it. Let's just get
She's
her
on the other
door.
side of that door,
Get her in the
dying
door,
right
but
now.
Yeah, she's walking away. She's going to hate this, but this needs to be said because here on our show, we don't get it twisted. We have all the receipts for everything. We have been blessed in women's sports to have a number of greats, all-time greats, and just like sport-defining careers, but none quite like this. When we talk about greatness, this is the standard of what we're talking about. So I'm going to go down the list of things. Sorry in advance, Dee. I know you're going to hate it. But we have to do this. Hailing from Chino, California, Don Lugo High School, 2-time Naismith College Player of the Year, 3-time National Champion, NCAA, 3-time WNBA Champion, WNBA Rookie of the Year, WNBA MVP, 11-time WNBA All-Star, 10-time WNBA All-First Team, 5-time WNBA Scoring Champion, 6-time EuroLeague Champion, 7-time Russian League Champion, 1-time Turkish League Champion. She only played there 1 year in Turkey. 1-time Turkish League Champion, 4-time World Cup champion, 6-time Olympic gold medalist, proud wife to Penny Taylor, even prouder mama to Leo and Isla. Diana Taurasi, welcome to the show.
Are those donut holes?
Do you remember?
These balls are for you.
I haven't had balls in a while.
I know.
Welcome,
morning,
welcome,
everyone.
welcome.
This is comfy.
Do you remember the donut hole story? No. This is from the first time we had Diana on the show. I don't know if you guys remember that marathon. Do you want to tell the story?
Well, I think it was a 4-hour marathon the first time we did the Touch More during the
was.
pandemic.
I got put under the
and
table at hour 3.
I told a story of how I got ejected and I went to the locker room and I had donut holes for about 2 hours. So I figured for Sue getting inducted to the Hall of Fame, what better than some balls?
Only balls for the best.
Cheers.
Before we get into it, I do want to do a little toast. We're still just going to be celebrating you. So everybody who has a drink, you two both, just to celebrate Diana on your incredible career.
Appreciate
Sue
it.
on your Hall of Fame induction. We love you both so much.
Love you.
Cheers to everyone out there. Thank you guys for coming. Let's get weird. Okay. Next card. Oh, this is your card.
D, we always start our show with a section that we call the check-in. The title game is set. UConn is playing South Carolina. Dawn Staley going for back-to-back titles with South Carolina. Coach Auriemma going for his 12th title. That's right. We outnumber y'all. And this would be UConn's first win since 2016. So win or lose, what do you think this means for Coach Auriemma? His legacy, does he have anything left to prove? What do you think?
Well, I mean, there's always these crossroads in your career, as you guys know, when you've won a lot. When you have that stretch where you haven't tasted winning in a long time, it almost feels like you've never won before. And I think for him today, I think he has more pressure on him than Don does. There's not many years left for Coach. I mean, that's just a reality of being in a profession for 40 years, which we celebrated this year and we were all there, which was really cool. But I think tonight, for him, there's a lot of pressure to perform, for our team to play well, for him to make in-game adjustments. These are all the things that we're going to look for tonight.
Do you agree with that? You think there's more pressure on Geno? I feel like there's like less pressure on UConn, but maybe more pressure on Geno.
I agree in that it can feel, they haven't won since 2016, which is obviously a joke to be like, oh, you guys haven't won in 9 years? Like, what's wrong? It's obviously
only make the Final Four?
It's like obviously a joke. But the longer you go, the more it can feel insurmountable, the more you can get in your head. So that's definitely where I'd agree. I don't know if it's pressure, but that's where I agree. It's like it could get in his head real easy.
What about Dawn's legacy? She's obviously not as far into her career, but she's, I guess the greatest player coach. What does this mean for her legacy going against Geno specifically?
I mean, it's incredible what Dawn has been able to do. And I think sometimes it's overshadowed by these amazing players and history of programs. But what Dawn has done in the last 10 years, taking a program that really, I didn't even know they had a basketball team. For a better part of 20
Shannon
years.
Pee Wee Johnson's going to be real mad about that.
Pee Wee, we love you, 2004 gold medal. But she was able to take a program that had no history, that had no legacy, and has really put them on the map. And Sue and I have been talking about this. The dynamic of where they are right now is how we were when we were in college. We were the new kids on the block, and Tennessee was the established, rest in peace, the great Pat Summitt. They were the ones we wanted to overtake for the throne, and we kind of see that similarity here.
And what I love about it, and what is similar also to the UConn Tennessee of me and Dee's days, is the coaches' personalities. I do think in college sports that it's an important role, plays more of a role than does in the professional ranks. Professional is definitely more about the players. And obviously in college basketball, we're celebrating great players as well. Paige Bueckers being one. But when the coaches have these big personalities, and honestly, when, you know, maybe they don't like each other all that much, it kind of helps. We saw that with Pat and Geno. I think there's a respect, but it doesn't mean you have to enjoy seeing them or playing against them. And you're starting to see that build with Coach Auriemma and Dawn, which is interesting because they have so many connections. The Philly connection, the University of Virginia connection. They've coached together with USA Basketball. So I love the story of these two coaches battling out tonight.
I mean, are they the biggest two stars of the game? That's what I was like. I feel like for
tonight's game?
In tonight's game.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure their reactions are going to be the biggest stars. Let's be honest.
Yeah, very, very true. Isn't this what we all wanted? Is this the final that everybody wanted?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Storylines.
Yeah. I mean,
all of it.
Two of the best teams in the last 4 or 5 years, and I think coming into the tournament, I think they both had a lot to prove in those early rounds in the Elite Eight, and they've both shown that they're not the same team they were in Feb. So that matchup where UConn went down to South Carolina and beat them by 25, that's not going to be the case tonight. I don't think it is. You know, those adjustments are going to be made. Yeah, and this is what we want, right? Like when they put the graphic up, you know, they could easily put up Coach Auriemma and Dawn, and you'd be like, yeah, I'll watch that.
Well, the other two teams surely showed that they were not ready for the moment. That plane turned around quick. No shade, but I didn't play. They played in the game.
Progress
their numbers
is a slow
were their
process.
numbers.
Says the soccer player.
I'm just saying. That fucking looked like a soccer number. Sorry. Love you guys. They'll be better next year, but yeah, this is box office. Okay. I have to say this because you've been saying this to me for literally years now. What is it? What have you been saying to me about UConn for the last however many years?
Don't let us win another one.
Don't let us.
Don't
she
let
says
us.
this to me every time. Don't let us win another one. People say what they want.
Listen, we are obviously, I don't want to speak for you, D, but we're bleed blue till we die. This is what it is. We also, the bias comes out from time to time. I can also totally understand the UConn dominance and the impact that it's had both positively and maybe negatively on the world of women's basketball. I can see all sides of it. But when we stopped winning in 2016, so 17 comes, 18, 19, the ways in which people just, it just gave them permission to be like, fuck UConn. Yeah.
You guys
yeah,
are
you got, oh, you can't
sometimes.
do it anymore. So it just made me like, oh, don't let us win another one.
Yeah.
You've had your fun. Don't let us win another one. And now we have a chance.
Do you think Dawn is saying the same thing? Don't let me keep winning.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Dawn has this very passive confidence that she knows what she's done in the last 4 years. And I think she goes into these games against Coach Auriemma and UConn with such confidence. Like, she never seems stressed. She believes in her team. She knows what her team can get done. And I think she plays out. And I think that's what she did yesterday a little bit with her comments is like, she's put her team in this, like, they don't want us to win. It's, you know, it's the Cox against the world. And I'm like, you know, as a coach, that's what you want to do. And Coach Auriemma would always do that.
What's up with you and Cox and balls? Yeah. What are you trying to communicate here? Yep.
Next question.
Drink.
That's right. Both coaches do that really well. They both have, I mean, you know, to what we were just saying about the star power that is them. They both bring this huge aura. And they're like protecting these young kids who are just playing. They both bring that confidence. They're both great advocates for their teams, for the game. I want to ask you guys about Geno's comments. It says he spent time going off on the media. I'm like, which time? Every time, you know, he's got that slow cadence too, where you just
set up.
Yeah,
it's the setup.
And you're like, what? And then
the stories we could tell.
And then he kind of looks up like he doesn't know where he's at.
Yeah.
And he's like,
he rubs his nose.
Yeah. Okay, so he went off on the scheduling of the tournament, all of that. First of all, I guess just what do you guys want people to understand about his impact on the game sort of like at large, and then we'll get into his specific comments.
I mean, I do think he has so much clout. He's lived through it all. So when he does have these very strong opinions on certain topics, I mean, I think we have to listen, whether we like it, whether it comes off brash, but it always comes from a good place. Like, he's always wanted women's basketball to succeed, and he's maybe gone about it differently. But you know what? When he speaks, everyone listens to it. Like when he talked about the shot clock, the 4 quarters. I mean, all these things have changed our game, especially, in the college sector.
Yeah, so for those that are unfamiliar of his comments in the past couple of weeks, he's talked about some of the women's games this week. His team is going to end up playing their 4th game in 9 days, right? So UConn played on Monday in the Elite Eight, then they have to play on Friday
in Spokane.
On the other side of things, the men's game, they played on Sunday and they got to play on Saturday. So just the difference in the rest, obviously the travel. He was quoted saying, yeah, we finish Monday night and we play Friday. The guys finish Sunday and they play Saturday. But we're in this for the student athletes. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're in it for everything but the student athletes. And that's him trying to advocate for us, for the players. During the first weekend, he was talking about Arkansas State and how they had to travel 45 minutes just to get to Storrs campus, and what a terrible experience that must have been for the 15 seed, and how who knows if they get back to the tournament. Likely they do, but what a terrible experience. He talked about the 2 regional setup and how he dislikes that for some of the reasons we already discussed. He's also talked about, so that's where he's advocating, and I think this is where it gets interesting. He's also talked about the impact of NIL and how college players are, you could argue becoming a little more professional in that they're getting paid. They're choosing schools on, in terms of how much money they can get. And he's always said this for years. Like, if we want to treat them as professionals, then we should be able to fire them. He's like, I can get fired, so why can't we fire the player? He doesn't mean it literally. He's just bringing up that point. But recently, I think yesterday, he did talk about buyouts. And he was like, I have a buyout. If I choose to leave Connecticut, there is a, quote, penalty. Somebody has to pay that buyout. And should they add buyouts to the player contracts? Any thoughts on that?
I mean, who doesn't love insurance, right? Sue?
That's retirement planning.
Yeah.
You're going to need some of that.
You'll
Call
be
me.
connected shortly.
Symetra.
I mean,
New client for you.
The NIL is a slippery slope. I mean, a lot of these old coaches from the old regime don't like it. You've lost a little bit of that control that you had over these student athletes. But there is going to come a point where they're going to have to change the system that's going to have to really help everyone. And when we talk about buyouts, I almost look at it like in the football world in Europe or in South America, where you have these smaller clubs, right, that generate these huge talents. And what do? They loan them out. Okay, if you want young Messi, you give me £2 million and he can go to Barcelona. Yeah. So, like, if you are in Arkansas State and you have this amazing talent that you recruited, and then a bigger school comes, okay, cool. You can get Jenny, but there's a buyout for the club, for the team, for the colleges to be able to recruit, to recoup all the time that they put in to those, into those recruits that the Connecticut's, the Houstons, the Notre Dames didn't do, both on men and women's side. That could be a solution.
Like equity in players.
Yeah, it's an interesting point.
Yeah.
No, it gives the smaller schools that develop this talent a chance to get their money back, which then they can use to stay relevant and in terms of getting recruits at all. It's interesting. Think about it.
I like it. Support for A Touch More comes from Degree. You want to stay active without worrying about smell, and you can do that with some help from Degree. So the next time you catch a whiff of your pits while you're holding a yoga pose, or a whiff of your feet while changing your shoes, it can be a much more pleasant scent. Like, say, a citrus grove, or fresh cut flowers, or a nice coastal breeze. Degree Whole Body Deodorant Spray offers all-day odor protection for all those in-between places that tend to catch an aroma. Pits, chest, thighs, and more. It provides 72-hour odor control, and it's dermatologist tested and free of aluminum. It's designed to leave less residue and dries quickly after spraying, with a light and refreshing feeling on the skin. Whether you're hitting the gym, running errands, or just going about your day, Degree Whole Body Deodorant Spray can keep you feeling fresh everywhere. Buy the new Degree Whole Body Deo for under $10 at Walmart now. on to your actual interview. This wasn't it. How's retirement, D?
Oh, God, I'm so busy all the time.
It kind of is like
Yeah,
that.
I thought retirement was going to be like, wake up, look at the hummingbirds in the morning, hot cup of coffee, and all of a sudden it's like, Penny's like, you got to drop off Leo at 7:30, Isla at 7:45, you got to pick up the CVS, the dry cleaning at 9, and then you get back. And I'm like, huh? I just want to sit here. But in saying that, it feels really good. And, I had two of the best retiree role models anyone can have, the way you guys have treated it. And I think when you retire and you feel like you've taken advantage of every opportunity, and for me it was always like, how much basketball can I play in a year? I always tried to play as much basketball as I could year after year after year. And when it came that time to get ready for the next season, I always give myself like a 16-week training camp. And I usually start like January 1st, and it was January 15th, and then February 1st, I was like, yeah, I'm done. Yeah, like, and I always tell Sue, I'm like, but I can still play. And what do you say? But should you play?
No.
That's a
No,
good point.
that is not. I said, but do you want to?
Play.
Not
Or-
should you.
That's what she heard.
Big difference.
That's what she heard. But should you?
Maybe that's what I wanted to hear. Maybe I just hear what I want to hear sometimes.
Yeah, but should you?
Yeah. But should you, D?
Aren't you
No, I said,
past
do
it?
you
You're so late on
want
every
to?
rotation.
That's I think at the end of, I'll just speak from at the end of my career, that's where I got. And I'm curious if it was similar, right? It was, I could still do it. Yeah. It was getting harder in your body and all the things. Yeah. But then it was just like, do I want to? And then also, is all the time, all the things you have to do to get on the court, all of a sudden the hard, right? The quote unquote hard. Is it worth it anymore, right? Is the only thing that's going to make me feel good about the season if we win a championship. And I think if you're ever in a place, we talked about this actually on the BTS show in regards to Coach Auriemma. If the only thing that's going to make your season a success is winning, there's only one team that wins. Yeah. So that's like a lot of letdown. That's a lot of disappointment. Did you start to feel that at all at the end?
No, I think when you've won, and if you think you're going to chase it, that's probably not how you won that championship in the first place. It just happened, right? It's like we were talking about 2018 when you won. I'm sure you didn't go into that season like, we're going to win a chance. Like, there was a lot of things that had to go your way. There was that naive part of playing basketball that you lose as you get older. So last year, 20th season, I played the most games I ever played in my career. I'm like, that's a good way to go out. I can still walk. I can still bend over and pick up my kids. I want to ride a bike. I want to play some pickleball. Like, I want to be able to do all the things that retirement can bring you. And to be honest, like, that work fun curve was just getting out of control. I was like, do I really need to prep for 4 hours?
That's the thing.
And then go warm up. Warm-ups, I just wanted to shoot my foot off.
The prep became.
I hate warm-ups.
The prep became longer than the practice of the game. I was like, this is getting crazy.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
All right. So what is something that you've noticed about yourself in retirement so far?
That I have ADD. That I do need a schedule. It makes me a better person. But at the same time, it's made me really appreciate being in one place and not thinking about where I'm going next. And, all those years I was coming home in season, getting ready for the season. Like, yeah, I was at the dinner table, but my head was like, what drills are we going to do tomorrow? Like, how are we going to guard Sue? What are we going to do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, all those things are gone, and I can really be present and be with, Penny and my kids and friends and family that I've really ignored for a long time. That's going to be one of my goals, is to make sure that all the attention they gave me and that love, I'm going to send it right back. Yeah.
That's cute.
So you said that you expected retirement to be a little chill. You wake up, you get your coffee.
Yeah.
So what's up with all the, from what I understand, you've been watching a lot of YouTube tutorials? Is this something that you've taken to?
Well,
Like how to paint random walls in your house, fertilize the hedges,
Oh, you gone full
This is-
lesbian
this
on
is
us?
add
when they had
expanders in the concrete of your
this is when
driveway,
the narcs
changing
come-
all the outlet panels.
Look at the narcs. Look at the narcs over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk to us about, maybe this little hobby you
Yeah,
found?
well, there's my ADD. Like, I'll be walking around the house and I'm like, that's an ugly outlet. there has to be some aesthetically more pleasing this ugly outlet. And I found these beautiful outlet covers that the screws. It's like the screws are in the inside, and it's
They're
And
flush.
so you take it to YouTube?
Yeah.
So I take during the pandemic, the YouTube really like made me very useful around the house because all the things I would just pay someone $200 to do, I was just doing it myself.
Yeah.
Very
No,
independent.
you're very handy. From
Yeah.
what Penny tells me,
Thank
you've
you.
become very handy. She
I try to
also
help around the-
told me.
Oh Lord.
Wait, hold
We
on.
talked about
hold on.
this.
What's better, Lowe's or Home Depot?
You know what?
Look, all y'all know what it is. All y'all are like, oh, I have my opinions.
Lowe's.
Wow, we
Lowe's
have
it is.
feelings. There's
Yeah,
feelings in the
no.
audience right now.
All
this
the
a Home
DIY
Depot?
lesbians like, mm-mm.
Yeah.
I do like Ace. I do like Ace.
I like an A.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ace.
okay.
You know what? But I don't like Ace because they don't Instacart, and I'm just like, I gotta go in there.
Yeah, you don't like the public.
I'm like, you're not gonna bring it to my doorstep.
So you also participated in a triathlon in retirement.
That's crazy. I just learned about that yesterday.
I know. We need to hear more about this. How did it come about?
Yeah.
What leg of the race did you do? And how did it go?
So it was a sprint triathlon in Anthem, Arizona, and two of my good friends that work for the Phoenix Mercury, or ex-Mercury workers. I guess we're all ex-Mercury workers now. You know, we were always talking about doing a triathlete. One of our trainers was a swimmer. Another one was a runner. Actually, she played college basketball at Michigan State. And it was a sprint triathlon. So someone swims 10,000 meters. Someone runs 5K, which Sue's seen me run the mile. I did not pick that.
You didn't finish.
Still be running.
And then I did the 10K bike ride. So like, you know, it's each one goes and it's almost funny because I thought it was a baton, but instead it's like they put a like, you know, it's like
a
house
tracker.
arrest tracker on you. And I was like, so they did that. And then I went off in my spandex and, you know, I was clipped in.
Did you have a helmet on? Like the Zoom
Yeah,
helmets
the one
with
that-
the thing
yeah.
in the back?
Yeah, that looks like one of those helmets. And and I finished in 38 minutes and we actually won our age group. Which
Oh,
Yeah.
your age group.
we won our age group.
You're the 40 and up
Yeah.
age group?
Yeah, it was 35 to 45.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get competitive? Did you find yourself
Hell
being
yeah, we were
competitive?
training. Like,
Yeah, what was the training like?
well, it was I was doing 10K every other day for a month, and then our Peloton, our good friend, that was the other 3 days of cycling, of clipping in, and you know all that.
Is that what it's called? Clipping in?
You better clip in. You're not
Like,
serious. if
She
you don't
doesn't
clip
lace
in.
them up anymore.
I clip in,
She
baby.
she clips in.
Clipping
I
in.
clip in.
Okay, let's take a little UConn flashback, a little like jaunt down memory road.
Yeah.
Let's clip into memory road.
Mm.
What's your favorite memory of UConn?
I mean, it probably has nothing to do with basketball. I mean, to be honest, it really doesn't like.
Someone loves it.
Yeah. Everyone else is what? Like, even now being at the Final Four last night, we were out for a little bit, and there were some teammates I hadn't seen in 20 years. And, you know, it's just something special when you share all these hard moments together, and you see each other at the most vulnerable, you know, spots in your career. I mean, Sue's seen me cry more than anyone, and I know when Sue's flustered. You know, like, we've all seen this firsthand, and it's kind of nice that this sisterhood is just so strong, you know. And then,
But you got to give a memory.
oh, your one memory?
Whatever comes to mind.
Okay. I remember my freshman year, the men's soccer team had just won the national championship, and the bus was coming through, and we were just all so happy. I think we were out that night, and we were celebrating. All of a sudden, I
You
go,
think
Sue,
you were out that night?
I think I lost my Doc Martin. And I was like 10 minutes, I was like, I don't have a boot on anymore. It got lost in the Connecticut snow.
There was like a foot of snow, and she got out to go greet the team. And on one of the ways up,
feet too.
lost that Doc Martin slipped right off.
It was a boots and jeans night, though.
It was a boots and jeans night.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might have been out.
Yeah, we were out. Boots
We
and
might have
jeans,
been out.
boots and
We might
jeans.
have been out.
Legend has it the boot is still
That's a good
buried in
one.
the snow.
I thought you were gonna tell everybody. No, it's not bad.
Okay, good.
I thought you were gonna tell everybody. Why don't you tell everybody the story of how you used to play Morgan Valley 1-on-1
Oh, yeah.
every day, freshman year?
Yep.
So a little bit of not really a fair fight.
No, so
be a
so
tough story for
I
Morgan.
would keep a tally. We sat next to each other, and I put a piece of paper, a line between Mo D, and we'd play every single day. And at one point, it got like out of control. It was probably like
It was like D, D,
yeah,
D,
it was
D,
like
D.
yeah.
Win.
Yeah.
Win. Yeah.
It was like 25, 26 to nothing. And then one day, Svetlana Abrosimova was like, "You play me," and I was like, I said, "Oh, really?" And you know, at that point, I was a freshman. I wasn't playing, so I was like probably picking on Mo, like to get
Probably.
what
What do you mean probably? Because Morgan was like, check up. And you're like, okay, you want
Morgan's
more of
too
this?
keen too.
Honestly, watching the Diana Svetlana one-on-one game reminded me of the South Park episode where Jesus and Santa fight. We were all like, oh my God, who do we cheer for? We're like, go D, go Svet, go. Like, you didn't know who to pick.
Yeah.
And they played one-on-one. Go ahead.
And Svetlana Abrosimova beat me. So unrivaled, you're not doing anything new.
Svet not only beat her, she walked directly into the locker room, grabbed a pen, wrote on the D Morgan piece of paper, Svet won.
And to this day, I've never gotten my rematch.
Yeah, it's 1-0. You're 0-1.
Yeah, the
Tough.
next year she fled back to Russia. Can't come back now.
She might be able to actually.
Yeah, she probably.
No, she's able to. She's
She
able
got a
to.
green card.
Now we're good there.
That doesn't even count anymore.
Oh my God, so funny.
Do you have a favorite memory of playing with Sue at UConn?
Yeah, when Sue hit the game winner at home against Notre Dame. I mean, that was yeah. If you guys haven't seen that clip, you know, it was one of those years that we just needed that moment to like let us know everything was going to be okay. And yeah, and the way Sue stepped up in that game where nothing was going our way against a really, really good team that was playing probably the best basketball in the country. And Sue in those last 2 minutes was like, we're not going to lose this game. And I've seen that too often in the WNBA against our teams. But to be on the side where like, we have Sue, we're going to be okay in these last couple minutes because you always made the right decision. You always made the big shot. Those were always my favorite moments playing with Sue.
That was fun.
Do you have the same moment? I know I have teammates where they would just do shit and I'm like, thank fuck they're here.
Yeah.
God, thank
Who
God
was that,
they play
Who
on
was
our
that
team.
teammate for you?
It was Abby for a while. It was Alex for a while.
Yeah.
It was goalkeepers like Hope would pull some crazy saves, Alyssa or like a defense. Sorry, there's a fucking bug up here. Yeah, a lot of it was Alex. Definitely later in my career, I'm just like, well, she's gonna fucking score.
She's gonna do it eventually.
Thank
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
because this game is weird. Do you have that moment that you can remember? You're like, thank God Dee's on my team.
basically like every pregame in the locker room. I'd be like, oh man, today's going to be hard. I got to do this. I got to do that. And then I look over and be like, oh, Dee's here. We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a sense of calm playing with Dee for sure. Could I pull a moment? I mean, honestly, some of the best games were in Russia.
Yeah.
It was like, you know what it was like? It's like how college is, right? Where by the time you get to the Final Four, it's like every team is stacked. It's like you're watching heavyweight battles. In the WNBA that happens, but it's a little more spread out. So Russia is more like college in that by the time you get to the Final Four, these are stacked heavyweight teams. You're talking like every player on every team is an Olympian from obviously a variety of countries. They're all Olympians.
It's like world all-star teams.
Yes.
Yeah.
So some of those games, and Dee, the one that two stick out, but the one that really sticks out was the one in Valencia. It's actually the semis. They make the two Russian teams play against each other. It's a whole thing. And I don't remember your final line. We actually talked about it on our podcast when we talked about your retirement. You had do you remember? It was like 39, 10 assists, but it was the way you took over the game against a team that had Candace Parker, Cappie Pondexter, Ann Waters, Celine Demerck, Biba was on the team, Tweety Nolan. I mean, the list goes on and on, plus Russians that I won't even attempt. And the way that you it was like we were all just watching a show.
Is this tall sock D?
I think it was tall sock.
The soccer
Yeah,
sock
'cause we went black that game.
Yeah, we wore black that game.
Yeah, we went black for chef time. Yep.
I've never seen anybody. We were like down, let's call it 3, 4, 5. All of a sudden, she hits 3 threes in a row. You had some like crazy assist, which they fouled still, and they called it an intentional.
Foul,
and then we got
yeah.
the free throw. So all of a sudden, we went down 3, 4 to like up 5, 6, and we get to move on. Yeah. And it was just I've never seen you take over a game the way you did that game.
And what amazing team we had. Like obviously it was Sue and I, Janelle McCarville, And that's it. No. Sylvia Fowles, Hall of Fame. Give it up to Sylvia Fowles.
Give it up for Sil.
The most dominant post player in WNBA history, can we say? For sure.
Yeah. So the real answer is, like I said, every pregame.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, thank God.
I was like, thank God.
They can't prep for that. Favorite Geno story?
Oh, God.
I know. You
think
guys really do love him and
do.
hate him just as much.
You know,
It's like the best
Isn't that what a
relationship
thriving
ever.
relationship is?
Yeah. What was funny, because we were at dinner last night, and it was Sue, Stewie, Katie Lou, and myself, and we were all telling Geno stories, and Meg was like, "Are you guys okay?" And I was like, "I don't know."
I was like, I think there's trauma going on here. Actually, we're laughing through it, but is everyone okay?
Am I
just wanna check
crying?
in. Is everyone fine?
No, but the one memory that always sticks out is going into the tournament. I hadn't been playing. Shea Ralph gets hurt. Svet gets hurt. I'm kind of thrust in this position to play with Sue and Swing Cash and all these. And I was like, I haven't played all year. What do you want me to do? And he pulls me into his office and he tells me there's no age limit to be great. And and that kind of just let me know that he does trust me and that he is willing to put me in a situation where I had zero experience, but like he sees something in me. And that was really like the day that I felt like I belonged. And that was like 8 months into the season.
I know. That's so cute. He really does have a way of like making you guys see yourselves in this roundabout. It's going to take a minute. He's going to talk slow. And then it's like, oh, I see what he's doing here.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've told this story on other podcasts. About time to tell it on ours. Does anyone know what this looks like? One day we were playing Tennessee. Okay, nobody knows this story. Great. The year was 2000.
You wish
we were
you
playing Tennessee. And we got out to a good start. And by the time we went into halftime, it wasn't going that well. He comes in the locker room. We looked a little nervous, maybe a little tense. He comes in the locker room and he goes, "Do you know what this is? This is all your buttholes right now."
He keeps it simple. He's not that smart, you
He's an
guys.
effective communicator.
He keeps it very simple.
And, the thing about him when he has those types of moments is you can't laugh. But you really want to laugh. You're like,
but no one does.
no one does. Because
Everyone's kind of
like now we're telling it and you're like, oh my God, that's hilarious. Of course you would laugh. But in the moment you're like, oh my God, that is my butthole.
I'm so nervous.
How do you know?
it's all over your face.
Actually, I think it was.
That's your favorite in-game. Do you have a favorite in-game memory of Geno?
Like every time he makes me cry with like 2 minutes to go in the national championship game when I was a sophomore, I'm like, once again, this is bad timing, coach. Like, it's 2002, we're undefeated, there's 2 minutes left, we're up 4, we're gonna be okay. And then all of a sudden, he looks over at me, there's a clip, and he just starts reaming me out. And I'm just like, what did I just do? I don't know what I did. I must have did something to piss him off. I wasn't aware of it. And then he just lays into me for a whole timeout, and I just see that one tear come down my face. And he goes, "Wipe that tear off your face." And I'm just like,
It was sweat.
and I'm just like, why are you doing this to me? But 2 minutes later, we won a national championship. So there's always a reason to his madness. Life's a circle.
It always comes back around.
You got to tell the bracelet story.
That's actually a story Diana was present for.
Oh, great. I can
Oh.
fact
I
check.
was not. Do you want me to tell it?
Yeah.
Okay. Allegedly. It was the year was probably 2003,
The year.
4. And
In a world.
the WWJD bracelets were hot. What would Jesus do?
Oh, this is a great one.
Do you want to tell it?
Before you knew you were gay, you had one of those.
I still wear it.
So someone on the
In
team
a
was
rainbow
wearing.
color.
Yes.
I wasn't on this team either.
Sure.
This was the Maya Moore, Tina Charles.
No, I
wasn't-
thought it was Barbara Turner.
Nope.
Okay, well, we'll keep it nameless. Someone on the team was wearing a WWJD bracelet. And it was an intense moment. like Final Four championship game, couple minutes left. They're in a timeout, so they're in the huddle. They're all huddled up, and he's like, doing his thing where he's kind of looking around. He's not saying it yet. Something's coming. Yeah. And allegedly, he said, "What would Jesus do?" Looked at the bracelet. What would Jesus do? He'd fucking rebound and run.
Amazing.
It's really
Amazing.
funny.
And
He keeps it simple.
and everybody was like, "Yeah!"
Jason's on 3.
Get that booger up.
What about the hungover story?
All right.
One more.
One more. Have I told this one? Who cares?
I mean, I've heard it.
Keep going.
Wait.
This is what we usually do,
Deep.
guys.
Remember?
This is why our last one was 4 hours long.
Yeah. I think we've told this, but okay. There was one year where we were, it was a world championship year, a World Cup year. And that year we played an all-star game. That was the national team versus the WNBA All-Stars, which we didn't get the all-star nod for. Somebody needs to continue to work on that.
This is why you guys have like 10 all-star games instead
know.
of 20 when you played 20
So
seasons because
whack.
they didn't give it to you when you went and won a gold medal. It's stupid.
So weird.
Anyway.
They started doing it now. Great for all the youngins, but
If you'd like to start a petition, we wouldn't
Someone,
be against
please
it.
start the
I know
petition.
you have handles that you can.
yeah, we
freely
lost out
speak
on like 3-4 of them things. Anyways, so it was one of the years we play against a WNBA All-Star team, and then like every All-Star game, we go out the night after the game. I mean, we go out the night before the game too, but we go out the night after the game. It's at Mohegan. A lot of easy access to a lot of sinful things. So we all have a good night. Coach Auriemma is out with us. Like everybody's out. We're having a good time. The next day, they scheduled like an 11 a.m. scrimmage against Australia. And this is like Liz Cambage is 18. It's the first time we're seeing her. So this is like all, and like I said, the World Cup is going to be in a month or two. So we show up to this scrimmage and we fucking get murdered. I mean, they killed us. It was so bad where they reset the score. In the first quarter, it was like a 20-point game. They're like, oh, just let's reset it. Let's just like start over and make it competitive.
Let's work on zone.
It was so bad, but like we were all, we had a late night. What do you expect? Okay. Fast forward. We're now at the World Cup and we're playing Australia I think we were actually in the same pool as them. So we're playing Australia.
We were in Brno.
Yeah, we're in Czech.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're playing Australia and he comes in the locker room for the pregame talk and he's, doing his thing. And he's like talking about the game and talking about the pick and rolls and talking about this and talking about that. And then he's like, every game against Australia is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to test yourself. And let's be honest, last time you played them, that scrimmage, they kicked your ass. They kicked your ass. And now you have an opportunity to redeem yourselves. But you want to know what they didn't know? You were all fucking hungover. USA on 3. And we were all like, yeah!
Jesus on 3. See, and you think all our memories are just on the court. I think we should just skip. The off the court stuff, those are the things that when I think about retirement, I'm gonna miss those moments.
Those
On
are
the
all the
bus,
best.
going to dinner, like before games, the mute, like those are the things I'm gonna miss.
That's the best. That's like honestly the best. Yeah, obviously all the biggest moments, of course, it's great. Honestly, sometimes I always felt
Don't
this,
worry about
when
it.
you have so much pressure to win because you're the best, you're on the best team, you're on Team USA, you're playing for Connecticut, like it's the expectation is to win the championship. So when you do it, it's more like, oh, thank God we didn't lose. Like, of course you want to win, but it's not like the Cinderella story. So it's the journey that really like matters the most and all the fucking around you do on the way there.
We're way behind time, shocker. Way behind on our schedule. So we're just going to
Shocking
skip to the
turn of events.
games.
Yeah.
We got one game for you.
I love games.
We've added this to our repertoire. It is called You Mean So Much.
Are you doing the?
Yeah.
Do you want me to
I'll
be
hand
your
it to
Vanna
you.
White?
Yeah. It's called You Mean So Much. And what we're going to do is we're going to show some memes, pictures of you. And we just want you to react.
Okay.
Just tell us what you see. If there's a story, by all means. If I have to remind you of the story, I will.
Are these Getty
We'll start
images?
easy. We'll start easy.
Or are these like deep
start
fakes
easy.
from your
We'll
cell
start
phone?
Nah. We didn't Angel Reese you.
Are these
no.
deep fakes, Meg? I don't want deep fakes.
Here's number 1. For those that don't remember, this is Diana telling a referee, "I'll see you in the lobby."
You know what the
What
funny thing
happened
about,
here?
Well, you know what the funny thing about that is? I literally saw him in the lobby before the game. Because it was during the pandemic in the bubble and we shared a hotel room and it was almost like a joke and he took it so serious. And I was like, "I'll see you in the lobby." And then he went, I saw him in the lobby later.
Okay. We're going to show this one. You're going to give us a reaction. It goes this way. For those that don't remember this one, it's when someone broke a door.
I plead the 5th.
Okay. Love it.
1,
want it-
2, 3, 4, 5th.
F-I-F.
That was funny.
I mean, that's a shitty door anyways.
That's a shitty door. It's not even well
Plywood.
made. You would have had that replaced already.
Yeah. I should have sanded it down. That needs a double coat sealant.
This, before you show it, this is an image of a text message I received probably late on a Thursday night. We'll call it 8 p.m. And it's a picture of Dee in her locker room at probably during the second quarter of her game saying, "Got tossed."
I just wanted to make sure. I just wanted to make sure all my loved ones knew I wasn't hurt. It was a personal choice not to play that game. I was just making sure no one panicked.
Where's the G&T?
That's funny.
How funny did I have that?
Yeah, I know.
LOL.
LOL. My eyebrows look good right there.
What, do you remember anything about that? Like what ejection was this?
Oh, this was I believe I called the ref something I would never repeat ever again.
Was it in Spanish?
It was in English.
Oh.
And there's not many times where I regret saying things. I regret saying that one. It's okay. He's in the NBA now.
He's doing great.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was testing him early.
We're gonna
Preparing him.
We're gonna stay in the WNBA. We talked about this last night or 2 nights ago. The infamous kiss. Walk us through this moment, please. What is going on?
Well, give
Give me the
obviously,
lead up. I need all of it.
Yeah, like
I need all of it.
Minnesota and Phoenix with a lot of teams, just this bitter rivalry of like these just two great teams with a lot of great players, and things get hot. Things get testy. Things get like out of control, and I think right before that, we've been going at it for years since we were 11, going back to AAU days, the Olympic days, and it got a little bit just hot, and then. Right when I was really feeling myself, I'm like, I just love Simone. I'm going to give her a kiss. Like...
Daryl doesn't know what to do.
Daryl's-
I love this.
Daryl's the ref.
Whoa.
Daryl.
Whoa.
Yeah. Daryl is not in the NBA.
Yeah. This lady with this husband. I mean, what? She's like, oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
All right, we're going to
refs loving
move
it.
to international play. First up, a moment in Russia. Just tell everybody what's happening here. Once she sees it, she'll know.
Oh, Khalees. So it was the EuroLeague All-Star game in Moscow, and Shabtai, rest in peace, our ex-owner in Spartak, he would always have these amazing halftime guests. So we were like, who are we going to have? Who are we going to have? And he kept it a secret, and all of a sudden, Khalees came out of nowhere and started singing, My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, Khalees is in here.
Dun, dun, dun,
But
dun,
then,
dun, dun, dun.
but then after, we went back to our house, the mini mansion, and
She ate cheeseburgers with us.
cheeseburgers all night with us.
What does that mean?
She was smashing cheese. We obviously got McDonald's.
Yeah.
It's like home cooking over
Literally.
there.
Yeah.
Got it.
And we had this big party, and she was like, well, let's call it midnight. She was like, well, my flight's at 6. She's like, so I might as well just kick it here. We were like, okay, you want a cheeseburger? She was like, yeah.
Cool.
Give her a cheeseburger. cheeseburger.
Come to the mini mansion.
So this picture, as you can see,
Yeah, get
Dee,
on there.
myself in the middle, Khalees wearing a Spartak jersey, obviously. Remember who she changed shirts with?
Cappy Poindexter.
And this is Shabtai, who
Yeah.
brought Khalees in.
Yeah.
He set us up that time. Great memory.
That's a good one.
Great memory, great night.
That's so random. You guys must have just been like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And to set the stage, it was the All-Star game, right? So she was like the performer for this EuroLeague All-Star game. And Russia's not, as we know, an easy country to get to. So it's not like an All-Star weekend where there's like all these people who come. It was like the 22 players who could get visas and then like a FIBA support staff. So in this, probably something half the size of this room, there was like 60 people and Khalees performing all her hits.
She was on that NIL money already.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
It was
That Russian
perfect.
money.
Okay. We're taking it to USA Basketball. What the fuck happened here? Please. What's going through your mind?
It'd be like if I played basketball.
This is Diana being guarded by a player from the Japanese national team
I mean, that shit is just
who's
funny.
probably half her size.
Like, how do you not do that? Like, what other choice do I have than to bring her in?
This guy's like, contest. Like, bitch, she is.
Like, literally, that's your experience playing against the Japanese national team. You can't dribble, you can't do anything because they're always under you. Like, they're so little, they're just always under you.
I mean, the best part is you're smiling. But not your regular smile. Like you're like,
I do think the game was over at that point. I think you had put the nail in the coffin at that point. That was late fourth quarter.
oh my God, that was so funny. Oh, so funny.
That's a good one. Was I there for that? I think I was there for that one. Is that
Okay.
the final?
Now we're going to take it back to the UConn days.
Yep.
Probably one of the most epic picture that exists
That photo goes
in your time. I think that's tip top right there.
That's
You know, I
cold.
think that says where we were as a program, though. And I mean, as you can see, Tennessee's in the back. Like, it meant something to beat Tennessee back then. Like, that was like our whole goal. We would play 35 games just to play against Tennessee because that's how great that legacy is and was. And I think that was my junior year. And that was when, you know, Sue had graduated, Swin, Tamika, Asia. That was like, okay, I have to do this. I'm the leader this year. I'm the upperclassman. And, you know, it's hard. You know, you can win as many times as you want, but like when you finally get there, like you said, Meg, that is like, that's so satisfying. And, you know, there's not many moments after that where you really felt like the underdog. And at that point, you know, it was Maria Conlon, Morgan Valley, Jessica Moore, AB, and 4 freshmen. Like Ann Struther, Nicole Wolf, Lynette Crockett. Like we're not expected to win. And we had lost a lot that year too. So it was a cool year.
I think that's something that people miss about your guys' era and like the vibe that you have. Like, you didn't have 11 national championships. You didn't win 4 national championships in a row already. You weren't like what they are now, or maybe what they were, you know, even 5 or 6 years ago. Like, you guys made it so that everyone talks about UConn now, but like, you didn't have that. You were like, no, we're fucking here now. We're going to put it on the map. I think they miss that about it. I think UConn just gets like clumped into one big, you know, like, oh, they win everything, blah, blah, blah. But like, you guys really,
Well, I
and it does, your face and like popping your shirt like that.
Yeah, I got that doo-doo face right there.
Yeah. That's Geno.
That's Geno right
That's
there.
Don Lugo.
I
Don Lugo's
smell like
finest.
cow manure everywhere.
Speaking of Don Lugo,
Oh no. See, we didn't
last
have great
but not
photography.
least,
Like,
we just need you to explain and discuss the glow up.
what?
The glow up.
You know, it was funny. I was having a conversation with Hannah Hidalgo yesterday, last night at dinner, and I was like, you know, the one thing that I wish I would have done more when I was younger is say no. You can say no, ladies and gentlemen, and I obviously did not take that advice when I was with my halter top and, you know,
This is
boob
homophobia
tube
in action
and
right here.
my dangly earrings.
Your orthodontist did the damn thing, though.
I know. I
Oh,
mean, that's
yeah.
5 years of. I know.
Look at this Nike
orthodontist.
necklace. Look at this Nike chain.
I know. I've been ripping
That
for a long
shit's
time.
nice.
that was my first team, Chino Hills Cheetahs. And I had, support the troops ribbon. Like, I was all in. I'm American to the core, man. And then that was my freshman year at Don Lugo with the jet basketball, which the photographer didn't think to, like, put it correctly either.
They didn't know what they were doing.
And this was a WNBA promo commercial.
Is that rainwater? Is that like a waterfall?
Just say no, I think
Sex
the campaign
sells.
was.
That was the
They
last time
said.
you were in Miami.
That was the last. Yeah. Things have changed a lot for the better, I think, Sue, right?
For the better.
I think we look back on some of our pictures and that quite wasn't us.
It was tough. So good. I know. We should have put one of yours up there.
Yeah.
This is a good glow up.
No, I have
Well,
no.
I
What do
think
you mean?
there's-
I have
I
no
think-
bad pictures on the internet.
Yeah, no, I think there's one where Sue and I are doing an interview for, I think it's like we're in Good Morning America and we're both wearing the same thing. We're just like red belt.
Banana Republic.
Like, oh, did you go to New York and Company or Lerner? Like,
No, Learner.
Lerner.
That was for the taller people. I didn't go there. It was like the one thing I learned about playing in the WNBA was where all the tall clothes were. Because that's the only place my teammates wanted to go. I'd be like, we would land in a city, be like, yo, they have a buckle. They have extra long jeans. You want to go? I'd be like, I think I'm good. But I heard they had Ed Hardy shirts, so.
I think Ed Hardy's coming back.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple drips of Ed Hardy.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
It's in there.
So
Some people are doing it unironically, but
That's true.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're bringing it back just in the same way they wore it
They
before.
just, it never, it was
Yeah.
just there.
They're like,
there was
oh,
no bring
look
back.
at that.
they
Just pull
pulled
it right
out,
out of the
put that old thing back.
chest.
So as part of your retirement gift, we've got a frame, and we want you to choose your favorite poster, and you could take it home in a frame.
I really like
Look
that.
at that.
Which one?
Let's see. I'm going to go with,
The UConn one, the got tossed, the Japanese Olympic pick,
yeah, I'm either,
Khalees.
I think I'm either going Get Tossed
Hills.
or UConn Poppin' Collars.
I think
I'll do
Poppin' Collar.
UConn. Since we're at the Final Four, on the eve of history,
We'll get it put in.
it's only fitting
Just hand it to her.
that Connecticut gets the placeholder. Thank you, guys.
That can go in your workout room
I like this.
when you're training for your triathlons. Give you a little motivation.
Yeah, there's your motivation.
I love that.
It's a really nice frame for
That's
you.
going up. I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really good.
Only the best for you, obviously.
I love IKEA.
Yeah. Kia is nice.
I am regretful. So there was our podcast a couple weeks ago. We talked about like best heckle we've experienced. I meant to ask you earlier. I gotta get this in. What's the best heckle you've ever experienced from an opposing arena or fan?
I remember my freshman year, we were playing at La Tech, and they actually had a player, Ayanna Walker, and her nickname was Bird because she had literally a beak. And I was taking the ball out of bounds as a freshman at La Tech, and I hear, "Your nose is bigger than Amaya's." I was like, "No, it's not." I'm like, "No, it's not." And then I remember my senior year, we were playing Penn State, and I'm shooting a free throw, and their best player was Kelly Mazzani. I don't know if you guys remember Kelly Mazzani, one of the all-time Big Ten greats, and played in Phoenix. And they're like, free throw line, dribble, Kelly's prettier. I mean, 20,000 people. I was like, man. And at the time, like, there was no Instagram to clap back. I just had to take it. But we won that game, so it's cool.
I love that. Those are some of my favorite stories. I think you have some when you played at Duke too. Didn't they get you good?
What did they do, Duke?
Princess Layla.
Oh, yeah, they did that. Yeah.
That's one of my favorites. Okay.
It didn't stick.
We only have a couple of minutes left. So for our final question, give us your thoughts, tonight's game, predictions, who you got?
I mean, I want to be down the middle. I want to really look at both these teams with a neutral eye. I do think Connecticut, if they play their best basketball, they feel and seem unbeatable right now. But the South Carolina team just finds a way to win games. And when you're on a team like that, I think we talked about it the other night, you don't know what to expect. So when you're the opposition, you don't know what to key on, who to guard, how they're going to play. They really are a Swiss Army knife where they can beat you any different way. But I think at the end of the day, if everyone shows up tonight, I think Connecticut wins tonight.
Sue.
Megan.
Me?
Yeah, tiptoeing, Megan.
Me
Let's
first?
hear it.
You know, I'm just a vibes person. So I just feel like, honestly, both teams have good vibes. Yeah. Back to the coaches. I think both coaches do a great job, and especially this year. Geno seems loose this year, even compared to past. Dawn is always chill, does a great job with her team. I feel like both teams are just like, well, yeah, obviously we're here and we deserve to be here. They're playing loose. I think UConn can put up more points. Yeah. And like Sarah Strong can shoot the three and AZ can shoot the three. And obviously Paige is Paige. So I think they're going to be able to score more points than, which is, I don't know if you guys know the point of the game, is to score more points than the other team. I don't want to get on wifey's bad side either. You know, I can't be picking sides.
Since we've been dating, they've lost. So
I know. It's like they need.
Literally.
I need this.
We met in 2016. So
yeah, the floater over Mississippi State, Dallas. We were in Dallas. So I have UConn going. I think they have the best player on the floor also, and in a championship game, she's obviously like been there, has the experience, seems to be unfazed by the moment. So I'm going UConn. What do you think? Yeah. Resident analyst here.
I also think UConn's going to win. The way I see the game playing out is kind of weird in the beginning. They're all going to be like getting comfortable. At some point, Connecticut's going to go on like a tiny run. Nothing crazy. 8, 10 points, right? Mm-hmm. It's like a 10-0 run. And it's just going to hover there the rest of the game. And sometimes they're going to go to 14, and sometimes it's going to get cut to 6, and it's just kind of, but they're going to have that one run that just gives them a little bit of control. That's kind of how I see it. And it'll probably happen in transition and with the 3.
Yeah. When you get to this point, the vibes and the aura, it's always with one team. Last year, it was clearly South Carolina. The way they performed out of their minds in that national championship game against Iowa, Caitlin, like that's a huge win for them in their program. And I feel like this year, Connecticut has that feeling and that vibe. And you said coach seems loose. Coach is loose when he likes you and he likes his team. Yeah. You know, that's a big difference when you get coached that like, oh, I like this team. You know, I put pen to paper and they actually do it. Like. That's a different type of Coach Auriemma, and that's the Coach Auriemma that usually wins.
Well, Diana, congratulations on retirement.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
We love you. Yeah. Can't say enough about you, homie.
I love you guys.
Love you so much. Thank you for coming on.
All right, so any final thoughts on the interview with Diana? Final Four, the end of the college hoops season. What's next for UConn? The draft is coming up in what feels like 1 hour. These kids are on like a crazy, I mean, we saw it last year, obviously with Caitlin. Paige will be on the same train this year. Final thoughts on putting a nice little bow on this NCAA women's college basketball season?
Yeah, I think the bow I want to talk about is the viewership. A lot of people, I think, in the last year or so have been wondering if women's is this real? Is the popularity, is the viewership, is all the things real? And we talked about it at South by Southwest, and the final number came through, 8.5 million. I think the BTS show got somewhere in like the 700,000 range, which is great. But 8.5 million is legit. I mean, it's always been a legitimate product. It's always been worth the watch, worth the investment. But now we're at that point where not only are we seeing it, we're proving it time and time again. So it's just so exciting to see that number hold steady. I know it wasn't the same as last year, but of course there's going to be that tipping point moment. And now everything gets to grow off that. Otherwise, I hope you guys really enjoyed Diana's interview. Like Megan said, the Final Four was epic. What's next? The WNBA draft. That comes quick. I'm excited to see Paige's outfit. It gives me memories of my own outfit, which I did my best. And I'm also excited to see who goes number 2. Seattle Storm has the number 2 pick. Olivia Miles, who was kind of slotted into that pick, stayed in school. She just chose in the transfer portal. She just chose TCU. So congratulations to Olivia. Good luck next year. But we're on to the draft, y'all. We're on to the WNBA. I'm excited. I'm excited for it.
I'm excited as well. Just a little FYI, next episode, dropping next week, will be a mailbag episode. And then the following episode after that, we're going to get all into the WNBA draft. So don't think we're going to skip it at all. We can't wait to see where everything shakes out, who goes where, what teams choose what, if there's any last minute trades or anything, who knows what could happen. And of course, all the fits. I cannot wait to see all the fits. That's going to be fun. Before we go, we are also thrilled to announce that A Touch More is nominated for our first Webby Award, Sue. How do you feel about it?
Feels great. Never forget your first.
Never forget your first. You can vote for us for the People's Voice Awards. Just click the link in the show notes. Tippity tap, vote for A Touch More. Thanks again for all the support in our first little year of recording. We can't wait to keep going. That's it for this episode, everybody. See you next week.
Thanks to Degree for supporting A Touch More. We all have those days. A packed schedule full of meetings, workouts, hangouts, and more. That's when you need a deodorant that's as reliable as you are. Degree Whole Body Deodorant Spray is designed to get odor under control while feeling light on your skin. It provides 72-hour odor protection, it's dermatologist tested, and it's aluminum free. From morning meetings to late night workouts, Degree Whole Body Deodorant Spray can keep you feeling fresh almost everywhere. Buy the new Degree Whole Body Deo for under $10 at Walmart now.